A good morning from Austin, Texas. My name is Sam. Thank you for joining me today. Whether this is your first time or you are someone who's been here for a long time, I'm so grateful that you have tuned in today. I'm going to start with a quote that I read the other day that I thought was fantastic, and that will be the backdrop for today's video. The quote goes like this: "You'll never understand the violence it took for me to be this peaceful." Obviously, there is an embedded disclaimer that we would never advocate violence. We understand if you are walking through infidelity, it's awful, it's painful. It can bring about incredible amounts of rage and anger. And I'm not talking about physical violence today. I'm talking about the journey, the violent work emotionally, internally, that, for example, the unfaithful has to do to get back up from possibly their biggest failure or failures of their entire life. I'm talking about the violent work for the betrayed to get back up off the floor because the rug has been swept out from underneath you, maybe more than just one time. I'm talking about violent work it takes to pick yourself up and keep going when you don't feel like it, and you don't want to, and you don't deserve to be where you're at, and you feel like your whole life has changed with one discussion with your partner. You feel like everything around you has changed and been transfigured for the worst. That's the type of violent work I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about checking boxes, status quo, just going to counseling or just doing some work. I'm not talking about work that your heart isn't in it, your soul isn't in it, and you're just doing it to keep your partner happy. That's not violent work. My friends, I will tell you, all of your repair work, all of your future mental health and emotional health hinges upon doing violent work. Your relationship, if you want it to be salvaged, if you want it to not even just be salvaged, but be healed, transformed, transfigured in a way that you marvel at the relationship you have, which is still possible, regardless of what so many out in the angry public might say. It is more than possible to experience restoration and transformation relationally. But all of that hinges upon violent work that you're going to have to do. This is work that you will not regret. This is work that you will not be sorry for. But you have to do it, and nobody can do it for you. It's about this time that you probably are asking, well, Sam, what is this violent work? Let me give you some examples of some violent work that we all need to do if we want healing and life-changing healing at that. Number one is you have to get up and do the work. There's no sugarcoating it. You just have to do the work. You can no longer survive on crumbs of recovery work, either unfaithful or betrayed. Crumbs won't work. It is about doing violent work. Ask yourself, is your therapist working harder than you are at trying to heal? Are the people around you working harder than you are at your healing? Violent work says, I've got to do the work. Next is being willing to do two things. One is we've got to confront ourselves. Number two is we have to comfort ourselves. They are interconnected. Recovery is not just about confronting myself. It's also not about just comforting myself. Oh, please just comfort me, only comfort me. No. It is an interconnected exchange, which is I confront myself and I comfort myself. And I do this in a way that brings about healing and restoration and wisdom. Another way that I see this violent work is contemplation, meaning really doing some internal work, really sitting with myself, really confronting some memories that I've been terrified to confront and comforting myself as I do them. The fruit of this contemplation, the fruit of this work, this violent work, is self-knowledge, self-awareness, not self-justification, not self-righteousness. See, violent work says, I need to be self-aware, because the fruit of self-awareness is kindness. Because I know who I am. I know who I'm not. I've done the work. I'm no longer pent up with rage and bitterness and anger and resentment. I'm no longer seeking this bitter sense of revenge. I'm no longer carrying around all of this anger and animosity, because I've done the violent work, which has brought about self-awareness, not self-justification, which has brought about the ability to be kind to myself and kind to others. Next is wrestling with ourselves and refusing to avoid the hard conversations with our partner, with ourselves, with our therapist, with the people that are trying to help us. Until we are willing to wrestle with those conversations, we're not doing violent work. Finally, and for some of you, this might be one of the most important things I say today, there comes a point where you say, who cares who's with me? I want my family, certainly. I want my partner, certainly. If my partner's giving me the opportunity, I'll do everything I can to save that relationship. However, whoever's with me is with me. Whoever's against me, they can be against me. I'm going to put out the naysayers. I'm not going to any longer take advice or take insight from people who are angry, who are bent in their own resentment, who are angry at my spouse or partner. No. I need objectivity. I need safety. I don't need these voices of accusation and the naysayers and all these people who want to tell us what they would do if infidelity happened to them, but it hasn't happened to them. My friends, it's time to do some violent work. It's time to go and seek out expert help. You can find expert help at affairrecovery.com. Look at our EMS weekend. Look at our online courses. Read the articles, watch the videos, do violent work. When's the last time you invited whoever's working with you to tell you something that maybe they've been holding back telling you? It's time to wrestle with ourselves. It's time to confront yourself and comfort yourself, because your future is depending on it.